All right, bro, it's T-Man, and we're viewing another beautiful video by our favorite coach, Blaha, Jason Blaha Strength and Baloney Fitness. All right, man. He says, why I program heavy than light work in the same workouts. I don't know. Let's find out.
Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and today I'm going to chat with you guys a little bit about why I am personally a fan of mixing heavy and lighter work in the same sessions, not just for
Yes, Jason, why are you a fan of mixing these things?
myself, but for my clients. Why I prefer this to any sort
Again with the clients. You really have clients, Jason. I find that hard to believe, but okay.
of traditional periodization. And a lot of it comes down to the fact that I think that we do need multiple rep ranges if our goal is to develop all the different attributes that we want, strength, neural drive, muscle mass, even to get the best hypertrophic response. Again, that means muscle growth.
You know, people say that exercise is healthy for you, or it promotes health in some way. It makes you healthy, longevity, and all these things, which that is known fact. It does not. A lifting doesn't make you healthy. A lifting wears out your body and ages you. Again, like I've said in all my videos, it accelerates aging, does a bunch of stuff, stresses your body out. Your body doesn't like that. What promotes good health? Well, diet promotes good health. Depends on what you're eating. You should be eating your natural diet, what you would eat in nature, and you'll be healthy. Some people are going to tell you, well, we're omnivores. No, we're not. You're an omnivore. Why? Because you could put something in your mouth that doesn't belong there. See what I mean? Look, you could eat anything. That doesn't mean it's healthy. You could eat bark. They're actually putting bark in some food right now, some scientists. I don't know. Does that mean it's healthy to eat bark? No. Your cells themselves, what they're seeking are nutrients. When they did a scientific study, I can't bring it up right now, they had two petri dishes. They put one with like toxins and sugar and stuff in it, and the other one, it was pure nutrients, like what you get in beef. There's no deficiency nutrient. The cells in the one with the toxins and the sugars and stuff, the cells, they ran away. They ran away from that. Why would they run away from it? But the other petri dish, the one with all the nutrients, the cells gravitated towards it like a magnet. Yeah. See what I mean? Think about that when you're eating next time, food that you're eating. What is going on there exactly? Yeah. You don't even realize that the food you're eating is giving you an inflammatory response. You're kind of, that's bloatness, the gas, the bloatness, the inflammation. These cells, what they do is they do a thing called flight or fight. So they move to your extremities. They move away from the viscera to the extremities. Yeah, they're running away actually, because it's poison to them. But you're poisoning them anyways, regardless. So yeah, they can only go so far. So food actually promotes health. See, it makes you strong, gives you strong bones, strong skin, strong teeth, everything. Your diet is what makes you strong. Now, if you're eating a poor diet, it'll make you weak. And so if you do feel weak, what's the next alternative? Well, they've convinced you that you're weak and you're in poor health. So you got to go lift a weight to get healthy. Okay, how the hell is a weight going to make you healthy if health is based on what's going in your body? See what I mean? Think about that. Ponder that thought.
I do think that we need a variety of rep ranges, and I think that in that case, I'm going to agree with someone like Dr. Mike. And I know I don't always agree with Dr. Mike on everything, but I think a point that he has made is that he said he thinks that future research he predicts is going to show that individual rep ranges actually sometimes have some potential unique training stimulus. In other words, there might
Rep ranges don't do anything. They don't do anything, absolutely nothing, except for accelerate aging, stress your body, accelerate aging, and wear your body and your joints out, and an inflammatory response. which again, that triggers the you aging, accelerated aging. So yeah, and a bunch of other things can come along with that, especially chronically causing inflammation in your body by these crazy rep ranges. Yeah.
Be certain aspects of training stimulus and muscle growth that are stimulated.
Stimulus and muscle growth. Well, okay, you stimulated. All right. You tried to put your body into like a death mode. So it's like you think it's going to give you something for that. Look, I'm killing you. So you have to give me something in return. Muscles. Okay. If you're not eating the proper food or doing the proper things, that muscle is never going to grow. Like, I mean real mass, I mean real muscle, like protein. Again, protein synthesis needs to exceed that breakdown. I told you, it is a lot of protein you have to eat, and it isn't like a 32 grams. It's a couple of hundred, quite a few hundred grams, over 1,000 grams of protein to exceed that breakdown. I think people don't really truly understand this concept. Their mind, they don't get it.
Through lower reps, moderate reps, higher reps, that they can each bring their own unique thing to the table, and that if our goal is to gain as much muscle as possible.
You are all gonna look like him. Nothing. He looks nothing. He has no muscle. He has that's his regular body size right there, what you're looking at. He never built any muscle. He's got some inflammation, maybe some sarcoplasmic, phony muscles, but he's going to tell you again, you're building muscle lifting a weight. But food builds muscle. Nutrients build muscle.
We probably would be better off doing that. And I'll also point out that some exercises themselves are more suited to higher reps than lower reps, and so on and so forth, which also kind of brings over the point of, well, are we going to need more than one rep range if we're going to use multiple of these different exercises? And I think there's a case to be made for that. However, here's what I generally note when it comes to this. And one of my problems with splitting things into phases is that we detrain. We detrain attributes in phases when we cut things.
Yeah, I love these phony things. We detrain, we do this, rep ranges are going to build the muscle. We detrain is going to build the muscle. He's got all these crazy things that's going to build the muscle. One thing builds muscle, and that is protein needs to exceed that breakdown. If it ain't exceeding that breakdown, those muscles are never going to grow. Ever.
So we really should be doing the stuff that we want to train relatively often. Also, the volume tends to be very...
Here's another thing. I even mentioned this before. How do you get super strong while trying to build muscles? People are going to tell you, well, doing hypertrophy work doesn't equate to strength. Oh, yes, it does. And the reason why it equates to strength is because we all know that myocytic androgen... Look, I'm not going to bring up the report in every fucking thing that I talk about here. In NCBI, it says myocytic androgen receptor controls the strength but not the mass of the limb muscles. Okay, what controls the mass? Well, we know that protein synthesis must exceed that breakdown. That's what controls that mass. This breakdown, this follistatin, myostatin. Okay? So what do? We shut off the myostatin. How? Well, protein synthesis exceeds that breakdown. So now you're in an anabolic growth state. So you're in a positive nitrogen balance. Okay? So you're growing all the time, there's no breaking down. Okay. What else happens there? Well, the first part that we just talked about, the myocytic androgen receptor controls that strength. Okay. If that is what controls that strength for you for lifting, then what is going to happen when protein synthesis exceeds this breakdown and shuts off myostatin hormone? The catabolic hormone is going to be converted to an androgen, so it doesn't have to compete with the myocytic androgen receptor. You understand me now? And that's what's going to give you more strength and force production like a dude on steroids. Yeah. So when people say that bodybuilding doesn't make you stronger, real bodybuilding makes you stronger. Your only problem is you don't have any money to bodybuild. So what's the point of going to the gym? Look, I'll explain this. If you don't have any money, Okay, you're not going to build your body. So there's no point for you going to the gym. Stop wasting your time lifting these weights all day, getting an inflammatory response and accelerated aging, wasting your time. Constantly going there thinking you're building a muscle, yet you never build. I can show you people I know that have been going to gym for years and they look exactly the same. They haven't put on a pound of anything. So what is the point? Why are they going there? They're accelerating aging. They don't even realize that. They just keep going for whatever reason. Yeah, in hopes maybe something will happen. But nothing is happening. Their body's not changing. They look the same. They always look at me. I come periodically. I always tell them. I see them sometimes 2 months later. Sometimes don't come for 3 months, half a year or something. And then they see me and they just like, they'll make jokes about trend bologna sandwiches and this and that. Yeah, trend, this, that, whatever. But I don't come to the gym. The difference between me and them is I'm focused on actually building muscle. They're just focused on coming to the gym. So if this is your focus, well, that will be your goal. That will be what you'll get. You get what you put in. Like Jason Blaha, his arms are small there. Look at him. His body's small, his chest. He's just an ordinary dude lifting. Now, I'm not saying that you just lifting will give you some of this, in a short increase in testosterone, you get more of these androgen receptors. That is for force production. But you could get two in one. But I'm just saying a power lifter is lifting for getting more of these androgen receptors for the androgens to bind to them. That is going to give you more force production. Now, when you go away from the gym, these androgen receptors, they start disappearing quite quickly. And so you got to come back to practice at getting them to come back to being good at lifting that heavy weight. You understand me? It's not based on muscular strength. It's totally based on androgen receptor strength and some motor units. That's it.
Different in terms of benefits. In other words, really heavy work, we don't get a lot of the benefits of the heavy work from doing large volumes of it. What do I mean? The neural drive aspects, all these things, a lot of the benefits that we get from really heavy low rep work, we only get in small doses of it. And beyond that, it starts to just become hypertrophy work. Plus, we can't sustain the high rate of force production and the high neural drive and all.
Yeah, it becomes hypertrophy work. Inflammatory and inflammation. Real hypertrophy work is when you go home and you eat for hours. Get it? You go home and eat a high nutrient protein animal diet for hours. That is hypertrophy work. Yeah, that's hypertrophy work. Those weights are the only thing they can hypertrophy you with is inflammation. Lifting them. Yeah. Why? You could get a pump. That would equate to hypertrophy work, but these are artificial muscles. So yeah, that's just pumping glycogen in there because you all are eating a herbivore diet.
Those things that we get from really heavy work for long periods of time through a workout. So building a whole workout around it is very, very limited. By that same token, our more volume.
Here's another thing. Carbohydrates age you. They accelerate aging. It's a known fact. Why do you think that, like I said before, why do you think they put this message in the Bible that says Adam ate the apple? When Adam ate the apple, he aged. He left the garden. He left his natural diet, his natural lifestyle, the garden. What did he eat in the garden? Meat. You understand me? He ate animals. So when he went outside that realm and he ate the apple, it's a carbohydrate. It aged him. You understand me? And he turned to be an old man and he died. Yeah.
Oriented work is something we should be doing all the time. Why? Because it is the most efficient way to build muscle. And if we are trying to be as strong as possible, we need to be maximizing muscle growth because all the data.
No, doing these rows and things and these reps and whatever are not going to maximize building a muscle.
Shows that over and over and over. Hypertrophy raises your strength ceiling. Your total strength potential is dependent upon your muscle thickness. Again, relative to your own nervous system and
Again, he wants to convince you that heavy than light work in the same workouts build a muscle. See what I mean? So these high repetitions and heavy work doing that in a session is going to build a muscle. How is a heavy and a light going to build you a muscle? I'll tell you, inflammatory response. That's all he's chasing. Chronically lifting in this garage of his.
Averages, meaning it's not to say that two guys who have the same amount of muscle are going to have the same strength.
Look, it's like
It's
this.
that
If you know that this is going to cause accelerated aging, going chronically, doing all these weird things, then your whole goal is to build your body quickly, is as efficiently and as quick as possible, so you don't come in as a chronic lifter to age yourself, accelerate aging. Okay, so how do you maintain this mass? Let's just say you didn't go after myofibrillar growth, you know, busting muscle, then repairing, remodeling, going through this whole phase. It's a lot of work. Okay, you just want to put on some mass, whatever, build up some muscle. How are you going to maintain that? Well, you're going to have to eat a lot of protein to maintain it. It's not based on lifting weights. It's based on diet. A lot of people ask me, how did you maintain that muscle size that you had for more than a decade? You never worked, you didn't go to the gym, you didn't work out. I remember these timeshare people tell me in Mexico, they're like, dude, you're so fucking big. How do you keep that? I never see you working out. I told them it's diet, what I'm eating. It's net zero. Protein needs to be around net zero it's a maintenance phase. Oh, they're like, but don't you need to go to a gym to maintain your muscles? How does a gym maintain your muscles? Gyms break proteins down. What would be the point of going back there? Look, if I built up all these proteins in my body, what would be the point of going back to the gym and breaking proteins down? Now, I'd have to exceed that breakdown constantly. You understand me? So I do it in one shot, never come back. That's the whole point. Except the difference between just building these proteins on the myofibrillar, I grew myofibrillars. That is different. That is a different type of training than just getting mass on the on the fibers, massing up the fibers. You understand me? Look, if what is the point of even going to the gym if you're just going to mass up the fibers, and I don't know, maybe one day they'll shrink and there'll be nothing left over to show for it even. See what I mean? Me, at least when I regressed from like 280, 285, yeah, a little bit of sarcoplasmic and a lot of mass there for sure on the myofibrillars, but eventually they were going because I wasn't really maintaining it enough at the end with protein because I was partying and drinking, girlfriends, this and that, doing a bunch of stuff. I'm just saying, I'd say the maintenance, it stopped at some point around 245. So I liked being 245 all the time. I enjoyed being that because it didn't require a lot of maintenance because I got a lot of fibers left over. See what I mean? I didn't have to eat so much protein constantly to maintain that mass. So yeah, it's all relative. I can't really explain it to you. It's complicated, but whatever.
their leverages in certain aspects of their nervous system are unique to them, and those are genetic oftentimes.
I'm telling you, he looks ugly. Vegan diets, plant foods, and these weird foods that you're eating, they make you ugly. That's why he looks so bad, because he does a lot of that. The majority of my lifespan, I eat more of a carnivore. I've always eaten more of a carnivore diet than anything. What I found was making me really ugly the last 3 years during COVID, because a lot of people during COVID didn't do a lot. They were eating, doing weird things. I started eating a lot of fruit and vegetables, which was a mistake. I tried it, see what was happening there. It made me terrible, made me ugly. It made me really bad, bro. Now I'm back on my normal diet that I usually eat because I just love eating animal food. I never liked fruits and vegetables, to tell you the truth. I don't mind to eat some fruit. Like I like everybody else, watermelon, maybe an orange or something. You know what I mean? Like I like those kind of fruits, like some exotic fruits. Like they're kind of neat, but it's not something I would go piling on like crazy because I know what they will cause me. They'll cause me to age, and they make you look corrupted. A plant DNA mixing with your human DNA will corrupt your DNA and devolve you. That's why we're devolving as a species. We're going backward. He is just looking more and more ugly. He's accelerating aging and eating a vegan diet and looking really ugly because his DNA it doesn't match, bro. It's corrupting his DNA, the toxins, the sugar, all this crap in his fruits and vegetables. Amino acid from a plant and amino acids from meat, they're totally different. You understand me? Totally different. Yeah, it's different organism. Plant organism, meat organism. Plant or fucking animal cells are is what you need. And you'll look better. You start looking much more handsome. Your face, your body just looks way better on an animal diet.
You may not be able to change them significantly. So, as an individual person gets bigger, their strength potential will scale with their size gains. Does that make sense? It doesn't mean that yours is going to go up.
As they get bigger with inflammation or herbivore diet, yeah, okay. Dead weight, great.
To the exact same level of another person who's the same size.
Man, I know a lot of people that eat a lot of shit and put on a lot of weight and they don't even work out because it's all dependent on food, not weights. How do people get big from eating? And how do they get big? They got big eating. They didn't get big because they lifted a weight. You see what I mean? This is just bullshit. To build real, like I said, to build real muscle, then that diet needs to be geared and focused towards a high nutrient protein diet. Any interference, outside interference from some fake diet is going to interfere with that. You're not going to build any muscle. You'll start building glycogen muscles, fake.
Theirs is going to scale to their own predisposition. But if they get bigger, they will get stronger. If you get bigger, you will get stronger.
Yeah, if you get bigger in real muscle, you will get stronger. But not that you're getting bigger, you're getting stronger. What's happening there is fuck, the motor units are proliferating now because the fibers are bigger, they're getting proteins. If protein synthesis exceeds that breakdown, I told you that, then the catabolic hormone converts to an androgen, so it doesn't have to compete with the myocytic androgen receptor, meaning you're anabolic, meaning that you are in a positive nitrogen balance. Yeah, that's what's making you stronger at the lifts.
So that being said, hypertrophy is a little more volume dependent than the neural drive.
But if you're getting bigger through inflammatory response, you are not getting stronger. That's why people complain their lifts are not going up. They're not going up because they're not. You're not getting any more, you're not in an anabolic growth state. And inflammation doesn't make you stronger. Neither does sarcoplasmic hypertrophy. Glycogen loading your muscles for an energy source so they keep going back. I'm recovering and I gotta go back to the gym and chronically live forever, okay?
So we really should be doing large amounts of it. So do you see where I'm going with this? If we need and benefit optimally from less strength work and it starts turning into the hypertrophy, but just beats us up more. But the most
Yes, we want to beat ourselves up more. That's great.
efficient way to gain muscle is to do relatively high volumes of work. It makes sense
So doing high volumes of work build the muscle. Oh, okay, I got it, right.
that our workouts would be best if we do just enough heavy work to get good neural drive, to get all the benefits of the heavy training, right? It's like you see me right here in this video, just some of the clips. You see me doing some lower rep benching, some higher rep benching. Right here you see me doing some 10 rep squats right after doing heavy triple, right? All right,
He hasn't changed at all. He looks exactly the same, all this lifting every day. Think about this. If lifting could build a muscle, why is Jason Blaha so small? Why is Jason Blaha growing? He lifts he lifts daily. I heard Andrew Tate say, "Oh, if I were to lift every day, I'd be massive." Okay. Well, Jason Blaha lifts every day. Why is he not massive like a horse? Why doesn't he look like Crichton from Croton or whatever? That guy that lifted the horse, that would walk with a horse on his back. Crichton or whatever his name is. I guess from Croton or whatever the fuck. I don't know. So why isn't Jason Blaha like him? He lifts every day, heavy weight. Look, he does heavy lifts, heavy weights. There's heavy weight on his back. Why isn't Jason growing? consistently growing. Why? Can you explain this?
Makes sense to train that way. Because doing 10 really heavy sets doesn't increase your nervous system and neural drive and all that stuff.
Whatever. Let's see something else.
You think the perfect gift grows on trees?
That way, same thing here. You see me doing, fairly low reps on these deficit deadlifts, right? Like a 5 rep.
Okay.
Take up a larger section of it.
It's boring.
Some of the smaller movements. Bigger movements going to be, probably 8 to 12. Your nervous system a little bit better for the higher rep work. And what they found is that the 10 rep sets following it, when that's been looked at, they got better performance, they got better recruitment of the muscle fibers.
Yeah, if you do more reps, you get better performance because practicing at something gives you more performance. And so what? This guy's funny, man.
By almost preloading it with a heavy single.
Whatever.
How I program. And it does give the best of both worlds. And it allows us to train for all these things year round. We can gain really good strength by doing one heavy set on, 1 or 2 exercises.
Man, you can gain really good strength. Just protein synthesis exceeds this breakdown, converts the catabolic hormone to an androgen. So it doesn't have to compete with myocytic androgen receptor. So that strength is going to keep going up horrendously because these androgen receptors are made from proteins. Yeah. And when you build them, they're not interfered with anything. You'll get super strong. But nobody is willing to protein synthesis exceeds this breakdown. Therefore, they're always chasing this stuff. That's why they got to sell you fucking supplements because to keep you happy, faking it. See you in the next one. Tell what you think about that. Like, subscribe, support the channel. Yes, heavy and light work builds a muscle. Great. Okay.